This video is to show you how to use Excel on a Macintosh. The version of Excel you'll see is right over here. So if your version does not match the version that I have, you may see a few differences in how to use your Excel program. So please do not take it as this is the only way that you may be able to do these things. All right, so now when we have some data in our Excel spreadsheet, I've already entered in data. These data points represent the ages of a chosen set of actors and actresses. And we are going to do some very basic manipulations in Excel. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the sum, the mean, the standard deviation, the median, and the range of these actors and actresses' ages. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to move my cursor so it's on the first cell here, and then I'm going to hold it down and I'm going to drag it through here. Now, once I've held and dragged, then you can see that I've highlighted all of the actors' ages. And then I'm going to come up to this little key right here that looks like the sigma key, which means sum things. And I'm going to say that I want to sum that. Now that is one way to sum the data set. Now I could take this cell here and I can do a Control X or a Command X, Apple X, which is what a Mac key is, and I can take that and I can move it down and do Control V to where I want it to be. Now if you look right up here in my f of x, you'll also see that this now says equals sum B2 colon B9. That's the other way that you can sum a set of numbers. So we're going to try that with the actresses. So my actresses are in the column C, and they're in column C2 through C9. What you need to understand is that an Excel spreadsheet is set up in rows and columns, and we say the row and the column name in order to give a cell a distinction. So here I'm going to plug in and I'm going to use the equal sign and then sum and then a left parenthesis, and then I'm going to be column C row 2 colon through, I want to go column C row 9, and then I can either close the parenthesis or I can just hit the enter key, and I've summed those values. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the means and the standard deviations. So for the means of the actresses, I'm going to go equals average, and I'm going to do B2 colon B9 right parenthesis enter, and there's my mean. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the actresses. I can do equals and then average, and then I can do C2 colon C9 equals, just like that. Okay, so now once I have that entered in, then there is another option as well. If I had another column here that had numbers, and our lab does ask us to make another column of numbers by adding 3 to one of the data sets, then I could actually copy and paste things over. So I'm going to show you the third data set, and we'll just see the control and copy paste here. So we're going to do the actors plus 3 here. So I'm going to take equal sign, and then I'm going to take B2, that's the actor's first column, and I'm going to add 3 to it and enter. Now I'm going to just take this, I'm going to do Control C, and then I'm going to go highlight all of these, and then I'll do Control V. And now this has added 3 to each of the actors' ages. So 51 plus 3 is 54. 45 plus 3 is 48. 42 plus 3 is 45. 56 plus 3 is 59. 62 plus 3 is 65. 56 plus 3 is 59, and 45 plus 3 is 48. So that's how those came about. Now watch what happens here. If I do the formula where the sum for the actresses, if I do Control C on this and I go over to the column D and I can do Control V, look what happened up here in the f of x. It says column equals sum of D2 through D9. So because it's in the D column, it said, okay, I'm going to copy that formula, but I'm going to apply it to the D column instead of to the C column. So I can do that exact same thing for the means, do Control C, and then Control V over here. And now I have this average for the D column. All right, now I'm going to work on the standard deviation. Now, standard deviation formula does deviate depending upon which version of Excel you're in. So I have the standard deviation, and mine has a dot after it for dot sample. This P is dot population, so I'm going to use the standard deviation dot S. Now down here in the bottom, you'll notice also the compatibility functions. The older versions of Excel would just have STDEV, and that's the sample one, and the STDEVP would be the population one. So I'm going to have to use this one, and I'm going to be doing B2 through B9, enters. Okay, now here's another option for this. I can go equals and then standard, and I still want to do the standard deviation S. Notice when I put that in there that the formulas that relate to it start popping up as I type the letters in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now instead of typing in C2 through C9, I'm actually going to go up here and I'm going to click on this and drag down and see what happened here is that it put in C2 through C9. So that's another way to enter in the row and column information. And then I enter, and there's my standard deviation. Now again, remember I can click on the cell, Control C or Apple C, also called Command C, and then Control V or Apple V. I just hit the wrong key, so I have to do this again. So Control C and then Control V, and you see again that's for D now. Okay, the next one I want to do is my median. So this is equals median, and then I want to do cells B2 through B9 and enter. Now there's the median for my cells, or for my actors. Now I'm going to do Control C, and I'm going to highlight both the C and the D cells and do a Control V or a Command V. And you'll notice when I click on the C cell here, this is the median for C2 through C9. And then when I click on the D cell, it's the median for D2 through D9. So you can copy and paste to multiple cells and it will make that formula for whatever column you're in. And then the last thing that we want to do is find the range. So the range is the maximum value minus the minimum value. So we're going to type that in. We're going to go equals, and I'm going to do the maximum of B2 through B9 in the parentheses, and then subtract the minimum of B2 and colon B9, and then in parentheses enters. And that's the range of my data. And then I'm going to just Control C or Command C. I'm going to highlight the next next two cells and do Command V or Control V. And now I've copied those in there for the minimum and the maximums differences for actresses, and then for the actors -2. So that's how we can do this. Now there's one more thing that I want to show you. I've been using what's called a hotkey or to do copies and pastes. But if I wanted to take the actress cell right here and I wanted to copy it, I could go to the top, which you can't actually see right now in my window, but I could go up to the very top where mine says edit. And when I hit the edit, it will then bring down this submenu, and I could go copy, and then I can come over to the cell that I want to paste it in, and I could do edit again, and then I could do paste. And that's a little bit more difficult, time-consuming way of doing copy and paste. Okay, so this is going to end up this video, and then in another video I'll show you how to do some graphs for this information.